The whole creature looked like some kind of gross stick figure. Its long back legs bent and sprang forward, bent, then sprang forward. The thick tongue swung from side to side. The black eyes stopped whirling and focused on me. Is it a grasshopper? I choked out. Marty and I both backed up to the tram. Waving its stick arms, the creature sprang closer, its antennae circling slowly on top of its head. Marty and I pressed our backs against the cold cave wall. We couldn't move back any farther. I think it's a praying mantis, Marty replied, staring up at it. The insect had to be at least 3 times as tall as us. As it moved forward, its head nearly scraped the cave ceiling. The tongue licked its soft, mushy mouth. The mouth puckered and made loud sucking sounds. My stomach lurched. The sound was so sick. The round black eyes stared down at Marty and me. The giant praying mantis, its body shining like aluminum, took another hopping step toward us. It started to lower its head. What's it going to do?
You can't scare me. Not with the basement of botany. Maybe a sentient tiny. Calling all creep.
Boo dudes, welcome to another installment of Calling All Creeps. I am one of your hosts, Robin Williams from Aladdin, and I'm here with Robin Williams from Good Will Hunting. Robin, how are you?
What? How did we get to Robin Williams? We're already on a down note. It's already real sad now.
No, he brought so much joy to so many.
He did.
I mean, sure, he killed himself prematurely, but, you know. It's fine.
I had something set up. I was going to call you the quarantine dream.
Oh, that's much better. I just say the first thing I think of.
Okay.
And it just happened to be
a naked butt, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, first thing I'm thinking.
A naked butt and a bald penis. Here we are, week 100 of quarantine.
Week 1,000 of this podcast.
Week 1,000 of this podcast.
Which is a children's podcast, if you wouldn't. Not for children, but...
It's not for children.
It's a children's literature podcast. We read the Goosebumps so you don't have to. Give a nice little literary review. A lot happening in the Goosebumps world this past week.
It sure has. A lot of stories about things being made on Stine's behalf.
Yeah. We got a new Goosebumps TV show.
Yes.
It's in the hopper.
Yeah. I was looking for a date for that, and I got nothing. It's just in early development.
Yeah, it just literally was a picture of a guy shrugging. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those frustrating quote unquote articles where you open it and it's like they're making this, and then there's a bunch of ads.
And also the image that they've used is literally just the newest Goosebumps logo, and it's like a PNG. It's just the one that Scholastic slaps on the front. They're just So there's no images, no anything.
No. But then we got more news about Fear Street.
Well, the Fear Street 2 movies are in the making.
Right.
But
what was the
also
other thing?
So the Q&A that we went to with R.L. Stine and Tim Jacobus about the To Beyond.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
Yeah, so it's a
graphic novel.
The original graphic novel, which the first one has already come out, is being adapted into a TV series as well. Right. Also, R.L. Stine, I don't think they had a date for it, but he should be coming out with the Garbage Pail Kids book series.
Is he?
Yeah. So that's something.
Fun.
That was a couple months ago they announced that, but that actually has art, which you can see on our Instagram. So that's
right.
It's pretty fun. It looks like the old Garbage Pail Kid stuff, and they actually drew R.L. Stine. I think he's like R.L. Slime. Real original. Yeah. Real cute.
I like that. He looks like a little Cabbage Patch Kid.
Yeah, it's cute. So there's a lot going on. And after last episode where I revisited the Goosebumps TV show from the 90s, I did again. And I was more so blown away by it than I've been in the past. Because usually it's just all right, this is a full book squeezed down into like what 20 to 25 minutes. But this one I was impressed. I was a little let down, but also pretty impressed by. So I have some notes on that as well. And we didn't even say what book it is, but you clicked on it, you see the little image. It's
You know what it
it's
is.
Shocker on Shock Street.
That's right.
There's
I should have said I'm Dane Cook, and I'm here with Dane Cook.
Yeah, Don Cook.
Yeah.
Dan
I'm
Cook.
here with Dane Cook's age-inappropriate girlfriend, everyone.
There we go. Got him.
Got him.
Way to kick him when he's been down for a decade.
He's fine. He hasn't been disgraced. A lot of comedians are disgraced.
Yeah, but I mean, his only real revival was on an episode of Louis, so that kind of took him down. Well, he stole Louis' jokes.
Yeah.
Which,
IRL.
so I guess, like, he takes the disgrace with him.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's a less gross shame, but it's still a shame to carry.
It's a shame. Plagiarism.
Yeah. Hey, remember Employee of the Month? That movie he was in? No, me neither.
Remember Waiting?
Oh, was that it?
Well, Waiting was a weird one because he was in it as like a side character, but the main character was the guy that I always used to confuse for Dane Cook.
Ryan Reynolds?
Was it Ryan Reynolds in that? I thought it was like
I think he was the main guy, right?
I don't know if it was Ryan Reynolds. I thought it was there was like three guys. Dane Cook was like the ugliest version of him. It was like Ryan Reynolds was like the top. Then there was this middle guy. Then there was Dane Cook.
Hold on, we're going to look this up. When I think of Dane Cook, the first thing that comes to mind is like flare leg jeans.
Yeah.
You know, like a very mid 2000s, like a dumb belt and like bell bottom jeans.
I remember seeing his CD at Sam Goody.
Harmful if Swallowed.
Yeah.
That was the big one, right?
Yeah.
It's Ryan Reynolds, Anna Faris, Justin Long, and a bunch of other people.
Who's the guy that was in all of the Van Wilder movies? But like not the good ones.
It was Ryan Reynolds, right?
I guess so. Maybe I just thought that Ryan Reynolds was like... When Ryan Reynolds was no longer in those movies, didn't they just replace him with a guy that looked like Ryan Reynolds?
Probably. I'm sure they did.
I'm thinking of that guy.
Man.
This makes for a very boring podcast.
Hey, any Van Wilder experts out there, sound off in the comments. If this was your favorite movie in 2002, let us know. Tara Reid. Not the one that was assaulted by Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Different Tara Reid.
There was jokes about her bad like boob job or something at one point, I think.
It's so hack. Who cares?
I don't care.
Prequel was released in 2009, and Jonathan Bennett.
Jonathan Bennett. That's who I was thinking of.
There we go. We got there.
Jonathan Bennett, fake. Yeah, he's definitely the middle. It goes Ryan Reynolds, Jonathan Bennett, Dane Cook. Anyway, Shocker on Shock Street.
Speaking of Dane Cook, Shocker on Shock Street. Dave, this is a 1995 book, probably summer. Am I right?
1995, end of summer. Summer's over. It's
school's out. School's in.
School's in.
September.
Can I also see your book real quick?
Yeah.
The cover?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
Are you an entomologist?
No, I'm not.
Can you name this bug? You have one too. We're comparing books for the listener. We both have praying mantises on the cover of different, artist origin.
Pretty cool. But
Pretty cool.
Shocker, this is called A Shocker on Shock Street. TV episode was Shocker on Shock Street.
Yeah, we dropped the article in the beginning there.
I don't know why, but... so yeah, this is book number 35. Can you believe we've come this far?
Oh my god. I can't. We're more than halfway there.
Yeah. 32
My God.
was halfway.
Yep.
Or 31? 31 was halfway.
Yeah.
There's 62.
Ooh, I want to shout out before I forget too, Dave. I'm going to show you in the camera here. On the back of these books, at this point, Goosebumps is so popular in the 90s that you can like mail in for stuff. There's all these like Goosebumps advertisements built in at the end. And this is the very book, Dave, that I actually took advantage of it. You can see I cut out here. I sent in for the Goosebumps fan club pack. It was $8.95 plus $2 postage and handling. And what I got was a Goosebumps watch, a Goosebumps bandana, a water bottle, a glow-in-the-dark sticker sheet, 3
Nice.
collectible pencils, Monster Blood eraser, and the official newsletter subscription to the Scream. And it came in this little cardboard coffin.
Which you
here.
still have, right? Isn't that
I
on
have
your-
it somewhere. I can't find it, but I wouldn't have intentionally thrown it away, so I hope to find that stuff one day.
The
But
bandana.
I remember it.
Bandana would be real cool right now. Wrap that
Yeah, that
around
would
your
be
face
real
for
handy.
quarantine.
It might be a child's bandana, though, so I'd have to, like, I don't know, just shove it in my mouth or something.
Both nose holes, too. Be safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is September of 1995. Top song is still Gangster's Paradise by Coolio.
Ugh, love it.
And do you know this movie? I want to watch it. It's probably either incredible or the most problematic. It's
Dangerous
called
Minds?
To Wong Fu. Thanks for everything.
Pass.
Have you seen it?
No.
Do you know what it's about?
It sounds like I don't want to know, but indulge me.
It's okay. So just based on the title, To Wong Fu, T-O, To Wong Fu. Like we're going to Wong Fu. Thanks for
Okay.
everything.
Thanks for everything is the subtitle?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the stars are Patrick Swayze,
Okay. All right.
Wesley Snipes,
Okay.
and John Leguizamo.
What an insane cast. This is truly a 90s movie.
And they are drag queens in the city.
Okay. Well, is that the number one movie at this time?
Yes, it was for a little
my
bit. So I forgot to do the current events, so I just pull up the website, and the only thing we're going to get this time is that on September 4th, Xena, Warrior Princess, starring Lucy Lawless, premiered.
Hey. Congrats. Warrior yell.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she does that.
Your turn. Now I'm going to feel dumb if you don't do it.
You know what? I'll just copy. I'll isolate that, and I'll copy and paste it here. And I'll harmonize with it.
And also Seven by director David Fincher, starring
Sure.
Morgan Freeman, Brad Pitt, and Kevin Spacey. Problematic. Premiered.
Yes, Kevin Spacey. Yeah, what a fall from grace. Nobody saw it coming.
The funny thing is that I know recently Kevin Spacey, they were like, yeah, the guy took back what he said, and all the people took back what he said, so I'm fine now, right? And everyone's like, dude, like,
What?
do you even know how like celebrity stuff works? You should have already had them paid off or killed by now. Like, now nobody cares. We know you did it. Like, no one
Yeah.
goes to the news and was just like, oh shit, I may have forgotten.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously the assaults is problematic, but then he makes all these weird fucking videos now all the time to just like really cement what a lunatic he is.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, he has to have a team of people helping him. How is he like? How are they allowing him to make this shit?
Well, he probably doesn't have a team then. That's what I'm thinking. They probably all
I don't
dropped
know.
him. The Netflix
Well,
people.
Yeah, but if you have millions and you pay somebody, they'll do it. You know,
True. If he
a
was friends with
lawyer or whatever.
if he was friends with the Clinton family, then all of those molested boys would have, I'm putting up air quotes, killed themselves by now.
Epstein style, baby.
Yeah, it's a fucked up world.
Sure is.
But if you have
I
millions
wouldn't
of
know.
dollars,
I haven't been in it in 10 weeks. What's
Yeah.
up?
Well, they're trying to disappear humanity. That's the only thing that's really ruining those billionaires. Do you know that the
Yeah.
stock market's like at its highest point in like 33 months right now, but unemployment is at the same point as the Great Depression?
Yeah.
That just proves how we've set up this culture here to only help like everybody. Everything is shit right now, and
Yeah.
it's only helping the billionaires.
Yeah, right. I mean, they're insulated, you know. They can get on a yacht and escape it. And I mean, you know, they might lose 0.0001% because of the economy in March or whatever, but then they got half of it back in April and it just continued to go up.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's distract you with some Goosebumps talk from the horrors of this world. Mm-hmm. What else? Any other time and place stuff?
I already closed that tab, so we're done with that.
So we're done with that.
Yeah, but the book itself, reprinted 2003, one of those border, I call them the border reprints.
Like
where in the early
books and
2000s, well, it's like the original art, but they just added a colorful border around it.
Oh, yeah, right.
And then in 2015, they did it as a tie-in to the Goosebumps film, which, of course, features the praying mantis.
Pretty heavily.
Yeah, because it's a cool, really, really cool monster to have.
Yeah. I like it in this book when it shows up. It's exciting.
Because a praying mantis is a menacing bug.
Yeah.
And especially because it's not venomous. Like, as a human, I don't think it could hurt us at all.
I too am not an entomologist, Dave, much like you. But I would agree. I'm
an entomologist.
Damn. You love those crumb cakes.
Well, I like those donuts that have they're like the crumb cake donuts.
Ooh,
you know,
yes.
They're like glazed and they got those little like meatballs on top.
The brown sugar meatballs.
Yeah, the brown sugar meatballs. They're real good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this was also adapted into a graphic novel in the Goosebumps graphics. Of course, the what I always called the shocker, which isn't even the shocker. The praying mantis is featured heavily on a lot of T-shirts, hats, folders, a little bit of everything. The idea came to RLS while he was at Universal Studios with the fam, and he wondered what would happen if the animatronics came to life.
Okay.
And here's another thing a personal thing. As I said before, one thing that scares me is when they have kids and little people in costumes in movies, like chasing people and stuff, because I'm always like, I don't know why, but like even with like dolls, like if you've ever seen Puppet Master, just like little things popping out of places. Like imagine if you're, you know, like, oh, I'm scared, I'm hiding in the bathroom, and then like a cabinet opens, you just get your dick stabbed, like, because they're smaller. Like you don't know where they are. Of course you could just throw them, but also anytime people are fighting those little things, they seem to like overpower you, that scares me. Another thing that's always scared me, and it may have been from a traumatic childhood experience, is when it's animatronics.
Yeah, just in general.
In general, yeah. Because
you don't go to Chuck E. Cheese or anything?
Well, that I'm fine with. Like those things, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But it's like the real life good animatronics. Like when you go to Universal Studios, they have the Jurassic Park ride. At the very end, there is a huge Tyrannosaurus Rex that roars in your face and takes a bite.
And you don't like that? That's weird.
Well, it's like, it's cool and I appreciate them a lot, but it scared the shit out of me as a kid because what if like it was just too far forward and when it did the bite, it would just chop you in half.
No, I'm totally kidding. It's horrifying for sure.
Yeah, they scare me because like you never know what they're gonna do, and that's what RLS was really going into.
Yeah, they could malfunction.
And my traumatic childhood experience was when I really didn't want to go on a ride called at Disney called Extraterrestrial. I had read about it, and it was basically like you go into a ride and they're gonna like there's like nice Muppets and they teleport in. They're gonna teleport in this alien to speak to you, but instead they teleport basically what is like the monster from the end of Men in Black. It looks a lot like that.
Okay.
And then like there's like live actors in the rafters, and then it's like up there, and then the lights go out and they shoot like hot water at you, so it's like the blood dripping on you and stuff.
Oh my god.
They had to close it because a man had a heart attack on it.
Of course.
And I went on as a small child. And my friends were like, it'll be fun. No, it was not fun.
I watched a man die.
Yeah, pretty much.
That thing from the end of Men in Black is kind of like a R-rated version of this praying mantis, right? It was like a bug.
It's a cockroach.
Yeah.
Good old Dick Roach. And
right.
This book is interesting because it starts off as a first-person book and ends as a third-person book.
Oh, yes. Yes, true.
Interesting. On top of that, of course, the title is a reference to Nightmare on Elm Street.
Right.
Shocker on Shock Street is the name of a film series, and they're all like something on Shock Street. And then there was Nightmare on Shock Street, which was, of course, a reference to that.
Also really close to R.L. Stine's previous 1980s Fear Street series.
Yeah. True. And the TV episode, pretty interesting. Erin, which is one of our main protagonists, is played by Brooke Nevin, who was later casted as Rachel on Animorphs, a competing 90s book series.
Sure.
And then Marty, who was played by Ben Cook, was also...
Dane Cook's brother.
Of course, recast as Josh. He was Josh in Welcome to Deadhouse, and Jerry in Piano Lessons Can Be Murder. So he played 3 different Goosebumps children.
Wow. Jack of all trades.
And Dad, Mr. whatever his name is in the book, is played by Eric Peterson, who was a big comedian on a huge Canadian show called Corner Gas. It's about like a gas station, but apparently it's very popular in Canada.
Okay.
Corner Gas, but also he was a voice on Care Bears, and he was on Street Legal.
Okay. Okay. These are all very impressive resumes.
And the special effects crew for this episode was pretty legit. They worked on a lot of different things, including the remake of The Thing with Mary Elizabeth Winstead in 2015.
Nice. Cool.
So they played the creatures, but also worked on the special effects. And the special effects in the TV show episode, it's not really the same plot where the dad works on, like, it's kind of bland. He works on, like, he makes amusement parks. That's what they say.
Yeah.
But in this, he's just a special effects artist that works for a film studio, which makes more sense.
They call him, in both the connective tissues, they do call him an engineer in the book, and then she says in the episode, which I kind of skimmed through in the beginning, she does call him an engineer. But really what that means in this episode is he has like a 90s like race car remote control and like turns it on and off.
Yeah. But in his studio, you see a lot of reused masks. So a lot of Easter eggs in this. So Toad Boy, which is like a character, is just a mask from the Calling All Creeps episode. The Piranha Person is just a recycled fish mask from Deep Trouble. On the ride, 2 scarecrows attack the kids, and they are the costumes from The Scarecrow Walks at Midnight. All of the masks are masks from the Haunted Mask and Haunted Mask 2. One of the masks, the one that's like cheeks are pulled out with the teeth, is named, actually they named him Freddy, which is another callback to Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nice.
And Freddy gets the death penalty, and they are like moving by on the tram and watch a guy in the Freddy mask get the electric chair and die. Which was pretty metal.
Jeez.
And then, of course, the mummy costume is reused as well.
Right.
So that's it. And I'll talk about it at the end, but I actually think that the episode was fixed a lot of problems of the book. Of course, they had a whole different slew of things to work with the visual medium, but I think it was a very strong episode. So, all right.
Cool.
25 minutes in, let's start the book.
As always. Well, Dave, as you mentioned, we have Erin and Marty. And, in the beginning... so they have... Mr. Wright is Erin's dad. And he's like a cool engineer guy who works for a movie studio. And because of that... Or, like, makes amusement parks but has all these, like, movie connections. And because of that, they got to sit in on a screening of... Shocker on Shock Street 6. So they're in this movie, and that's how the book begins, and they're all like scared in there. And then they're able to go to Mr. Wright's studio and kind of interface with him. And he basically says like, hey guys, I have I'm working on Shocker Land or whatever. What's it called?
It's the Shock Street Studio Tour.
That's right. The Shock Street Studio Tour. It's going to open soon. And Marty and Erin can be the lucky ones to give it a little test run first, and then give Pop some feedback. Let them know how everything's ticking. And so they're obviously psyched about this, and pretty quickly they advance to like the Shocker studio lot and get the ball rolling. And get on the tram. I mean, in the beginning, like, Erin's dad is kind of showing them around a little bit and shows them like the big hangar buildings where they are the sound stages for a lot of the movies and stuff. So the kids are kind of in heaven because they love this stuff, and they also get to be the first ones.
They get to take a ride through Hollywood in the car, and it's like a foggy, weird day, and it's some good description. And another thing, too, it's weird that they're like, we're the first kids to see this movie. And they're in the screening, which is probably for, like, professionals and stuff. Because it's in the dad's office building. And they're just being obnoxious. And it kind of shows, it's a very 80s thing. And something that I remember from being a kid, I don't know if you remember this now, and I don't think it still happens, where, like, trying to get into, like, a PG-13 or R-rated movie as a kid.
Yeah.
Because horror is still, I mean, especially those things like the Nightmare on Elm Street, all that stuff, it's kind of advertised to kids in a way. Like that preteen, teen kind of market, and that's where you want to be. So they're horrified, these kids. They're so afraid.
Yeah.
But they're really into it, which I am into. That's where I was back when. And even in the movie, they describe stuff that should be like funny. They were like, the shocker or whatever, the wolf crab monster, it like jumps out and cuts a child on a tricycle in half, and the whole audience laughs. But they're into it. They're like gasping and spooked. And what else? Oh yeah, so they're not brother and sister, they're just friends.
Yeah, they're pals.
But everyone says that they're like short and fat and have like snub noses. But they look like twins, which is such a weird thing.
Well, yeah, it's like somebody like the woman on the tram car maybe identifies them as twins, and they're like, no, we're not related.
There's a couple points like everyone always says you guys are twins and we're not, which is strange, and then which is interesting, and who knows? There's some things put out there.
Maybe there's a reason for that.
Maybe there's a reason. Maybe their dad just loves fucking.
Maybe, Erin does. There is the classic RL trope, which I put in my bad, which is, I look nothing like my dad. It's so weird. Yeah.
And also, at one point, they were like, who would love going on the studio tour? Mom.
Yes. Important note here, because Erin says that, and the dad just sort of blankly looks at her and goes like, excuse me, what did you say? And she was like, well, Mom, remember Mom? And he like doesn't acknowledge it and says like, you guys go on this alone. And then they just kind of drop it because Erin's like, I don't want to push it because I want to go on this thing, which is fine in a narrative sense because like at least RL acknowledged that it's weird that the dad didn't follow up on it, but or Erin didn't follow up on it, but it doesn't really make sense.
It seems like a strained marriage, perhaps.
Maybe, yeah.
Like, Mom might not live with them anymore, and they're trying to make it work. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And then we get a little bit more, because when they arrive on the platform, that's when we meet Linda, a red-haired lady. And I just wrote, who is probably sleeping with Dad.
Gotta be. I mean, this is her only appearance in this book. And it's also, like... The dad is like, hey, here's Linda. She's going to be your tour guide. And it's like, oh, that's cool. She's the only one on the tram with the kids. She's going to be the tour guide. And then they're about to start up the tram, and Linda gets off and says, like, have a good ride. And it's like, well, then how are you the fucking tour guide?
2 reasons she's a bad tour guide. First reason, she doesn't go on the tour. Second reason, she hands the kids guns.
Yeah, she hands them toy guns and says, like, you might have to freeze some of the monsters these are freeze rays. You might have to freeze some of the monsters that come at you.
And they're just like, these just look like guns. They just look like guns.
Right.
And at this point, Marty's like, what are we, children? And I'm like,
Yeah.
what about handing you a real-ass looking gun is childish?
Yeah.
Like, if they gave you, like, a Nerf bow and arrow, I'd be like, okay, while this
that
is
would be
fun.
awesome.
Dude, if I could go on the Jurassic Park studio tour at Universal with a Nerf bow and arrow,
You'd take that
hells
dinosaur
yeah.
down.
Kidding me? Kidding me?
Confront that childhood trauma with a weapon.
Mr. Universal, if you're listening,
Yeah.
send
we
us
got
on
some
the
ideas.
Jurassic Park ride. Even though they're making a new one, apparently. They're making like a Jurassic World shit.
Oh, yeah? Is Chris
Yeah.
Pratt there?
Probably. He's probably there pretending not to be a hardcore right-wing, anti-gay Christian conservative, which he is.
Hey, he's funny on the show and in the
He's
movie.
funny on the show, but he puts a lot of money and time into a church that really hates gay people.
I know. It is a huge bummer. Yeah,
he's just-
I've turned on, whatever. It's fine.
It's fine. He does what he does. He's
He
like,
does.
I'm for gay people, just my organization that I'm heavily part of and put a lot of money towards because I love God, hates gay people,
Yeah,
which,
yeah.
We just don't see eye to eye.
Ignore that.
It's fine. It's fine.
So,
Sorry, we're being pretty political on this past ones. It's something about this
people
quarantine.
know what to expect here on the Dane Cook Hour. Linda doesn't actually go with them. That's fine. But they start their tour, and they're excited. And the first stop is the Haunted House of Horrors. And it's, like, spooky in there and stuff. Like, it sounds pretty cool to roll through there. And it's pretty, like, normal spooky. Right? So you got, like, a Haunted Mansion vibe from this place. They sort of go through there seamlessly.
Mm-hmm.
And then they end up in a section where there's just like a bunch of bushes, and all these creatures come out of the bushes from the movies. And this is where RL has some fun because he gets to name them all, like wolf balls and like bear butts.
Yeah. King Squisher.
Yeah.
Just it's yeah, the house has ghosts and stuff, and they're like skeletons are like yelling at them, and like fires exploding, and
There's a lot of maniacal laughter and whatnot.
they go through like one of those dark. They fall into like a dark roller coaster. It's cool,
Yeah.
and the monsters attack, but it's really an autograph portion.
Yeah, it's
of
like
the tour.
a photo op autograph time. And
It's kind of fun.
It's fun, yeah. So everything's kind of normal so far. It's not until we get to the cave where things start to get a little wonky.
Yeah,
And
which is a cave of the living creeps.
Cave of the Living Creeps. That's right, and that's where we live, Dave.
We are.
Mm-hmm.
That's our.
Podcast HQ.
That's the podcast about our podcast, about the making, like the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Is a pod of the living creeps.
That's right. And in this cave, first it starts to get a little gross because they're rolling through there, and some like big worms fall on their necks and their heads.
Can I say it if I mark the time?
Of course.
They're worms. They're long, white, ropey worms.
They are. They're slimy and squishy, and they'll get you pregnant.
They sure will.
That's not the only creepy crawly though, because then they roll through some kind of net. They think, but it's not a net. It's a big old spider web, and there's all these spiders that crawl into their mouths and in their nostrils and stuff. And they don't like that one bit, which is weird. I feel like everybody would like that. And
I, for one, hated it.
oh my god! Well, you're the odd man out.
And they're also like, these can't be real. They're probably just little robots.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how much money do you think a studio has to make microscopic robots to drop on children whenever they feel like it?
Yeah, no. You got some real ass spiders, and that's the other thing is things start to feel increasingly real as they roll forward.
Yeah.
And Erin's on the side of this shit is real. Marty's on the side of it's not. And then the tram gets stuck. So it is like a malfunction of the tram is what they determine. Mm-hmm. So they get out of the tram, even though it was impressed upon them to stay in the tram at all times. And when they do this, and Marty's like pretending he knows what he's doing, like looking at the wheels or something. Yeah. There's a big old bug that starts to creep behind Marty.
And it seems like it's alive, like a living creep.
It is alive.
Oh, shit.
That's right. And I like this whole section. I like when it creeps up behind him. And these are, of course, the praying mantises. And the praying mantises are like silver and weird looking, and they got these skinny faces that look like skeleton faces, and they got like their eyes like spin around like lunatics, like Rodney Dangerfield. And then
hey, I'm a mantis.
yeah. Take
We're all gonna get laid.
They all beg Marty to take their wives, please. Yeah. And
you know what happens to those mantises?
they try to mate with Marty.
I was going to say, to get rid of the mantises, they decide to stomp them.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Those mantises get no respect. No respect.
They definitely want to fuck Marty, though.
They really do.
Yeah. Which is bad because they'll decapitate him.
But also, we know how scared and mean Marty is.
Yeah.
So he's like a big pussy. So
yeah.
What do you?
Which is a powerful. It's a good thing.
It's a good thing. It's a powerful thing.
Yeah.
But for the joke, you know.
For the joke, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so they're like spitting hot saliva everywhere and stuff. And
Sure.
they step on the bugs, and they manage to escape.
Through a crack in the wall.
That's right. And the crack, I believe, leads them to Shock Street. Am I right?
Yeah. Which is kind of how the shocker works.
The crack always leads you to Shock Street.
Yeah.
You just follow the path.
So they were the pinky, and they make their way.
And it got kind of stinky.
Through the crack.
That's right.
We are 8.
Combined,
yeah. Yeah, they get to Shock Street, and that's where they're like, oh, wow, that's Dr. Electro's fucking...
ball tickler.
Yeah. And they see all these different things from Shock Street, which is interesting to me because they go through the studio tour and they're like, why are there these worms? Why are there spiders? But in the beginning, like the horror house, they're like, that is the house where they filmed Scary House. But like,
yeah.
The dad was just kind of like, I don't know, fucking throw spiders. And like the mantises have nothing to do with the movies. They're just scary and neat.
I know. I was waiting for that tie-in. I didn't get it. But I guess because it's a cave, there are like creepy crawlies in there.
I guess so.
I don't know. Like, because the cave is from a movie, right?
I don't think so. It's just there.
Okay. Just different terrain.
Yeah. It was just for the studio to make it like, they were like, these are scary movies. Let's just do scary things.
Sure.
Which is kind of what, like, I mean, the whole TV episode, when they go through this ride, it's basically just any scary ride.
Yeah.
And they filmed it in, like, a amusement park in Toronto. So for all I know, that could have just been a repurposed scary ride that they just put the kids on, which is more than likely what they did, because they had an actual tram that was working, and we know the budget of the TV show. So yeah, so they end up on the street, and they get to see a lot of different places that they remember, like Electro Guy's house, and they're like, oh, that's the field. There's like a field that's very Black Dahlia, I think is being referenced.
Oh,
where there's like the mangler in this empty field, and like people always go there and they think no one's there, but that's where they always find the mangled bodies.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they're in Hollywood. That's very much... I don't know. I'd ask RLS, but like we went to that last vibe. Q&A, and the kids are asking, they're like, what's Sloppy's favorite color? And then we're like, hey, do you remember when that young actress / like prostitute was had her boob ripped off and was cut into pieces and left in a field in Hollywood? Is that where the mangler got his original? And the kids would just be like, what's Sloppy's hair like? Like he'd be like, oh shit. Yeah, so they're getting a little nervous now because they were told, do not leave the tram.
Right.
And you cannot walk on Shock Street. Yeah.
And, and it's cool because they get to see, like, Shockman's bathroom and stuff on the Shock Street lot.
Oh my God, this is where the tickler lost his virginity. Right behind the Denny's.
Yeah. This is where the...
spooky Denny's.
The groin smasher takes his dumps. And it's like an old porta potty. But but in the distance, Marty's like drawn to this cemetery that's to the side of Shock Street, and it's all spooky in there because it's still like this weird, as you said, Dave, this weird like time of day or this weird day where it's not nighttime yet, but it's just real overcast all the time.
It's a foggy day.
It's a foggy old day, and
Which I don't even know. And they even say, I'm like, that's not the usual weather. It looked like it was going to rain, and they're like, this is crazy because all we have are droughts. It never rains here.
Yeah,
which is he covers the bases.
Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah, he crossed his T's there, but Marty's in the cemetery and he's looking around at all the gravestones, and here's where jovial Bob Stine rears his moly head.
I was so happy you said this because I was pumped.
Oh my goodness, we got some great names on these stones that really undercuts any fear you would feel. And the first one, probably the best one in my opinion, is Jim, Jim Socks, last name.
Originally I was like, is that supposed to be like Jim Sucks? And then I was like, oh, Jim Socks.
Jim Socks. Like he's a smelly man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then of course the classic Ben Dover.
Ben Dover, oh my God, so funny.
Which is next to one that's not as funny, Sid.
Yep.
Up.
Sid space UPP.
Sit up.
UPP? IPP.
Bend over and sit up.
Bend over and sit up. Yeah, so they're getting a kick out of these names, asking each other if they get it and whatnot.
Yeah, see more butts.
That's right. IP Freely is in there.
Mr. Hunt.
Mr. Hunt. That's
Michael.
Right.
Michael Hunt.
Yep.
Mike to his friends.
Yeah.
Do you know that guy? Do you know what that one is?
Do I get it? Is that what you're asking?
Do you know?
I get it. Michael? You know what I think of his Futurama with the icy wiener.
Oh yeah. IP Freely.
IP Freely we got, yeah.
One of my grandmother's friends, his name was Ada, and she married like the boss, one of the bosses at this place, whose last name was Burger, so her name actually became Ada Burger.
I like that though.
Is that fun?
That's charming.
Fun. Everyone had better names back then.
Right.
Like that grandmother was named Adele.
It's great.
Yeah, my other grandma was named Wilma.
Oh,
like,
love it. Now everyone's named fucking Daenerys and stuff.
Yeah, Kylie.
Ugh, get out of here.
Or like E equals MX squared, whatever.
Oh, that's
way to
right.
go, Grimes and Spaceman.
Yeah, it's like Photon Blaster hashtag C12 or whatever.
Fuck.
Whatever. The world doesn't have enough monsters. Why not add another one? So they're in the cemetery, and perhaps the spookiest thing that can happen in a cemetery happens, which is hands blast up from underneath the ground.
I just laughing at the verb.
Yeah. They just blast right up. You know what's weird, too, is every hand that comes up is only the pinky, the middle, and the index finger.
So you're saying that these kids got hand blasted on Shock Street?
No. I'm just saying that every hand that shot up from the ground was missing a ring finger.
Okay. Because they're zombies and they're green.
That's
right.
the
only reason why.
They're there to shock, and shock they will.
This was a weird foot fetishy part, I think, because they grabbed the kid's legs, and she's like, if I fall down, I'm done for. It makes sense. Because they're like literally pulling the kids through the ground, which is insane.
Yeah.
Through the spongy earth. She is able to rip her shoes off and escape.
Right.
And she's just like, I quickly knew I had to rip my socks off, too.
Yeah.
To get away. And I'm like, why?
She said she could, like, run better or something. I was like, socks are socks. Like,
yeah, but also,
you're not on, like, slippery linoleum.
When you're... when you're getting attacked, like, you don't need to, like, keep your socks on. Like, taking your socks off is annoying. You're not going to, like, sit down and be
it takes more time, yeah. You just go. You just move.
You just go. So she goes over to... So that's, like, I'm like, whatever. Then she goes over to her buddy, Marty, who's, like, face down, just getting railed by these hands. And she's like, take your shoes off, and, like, fights the hands off.
Yeah.
And then he takes his shoes off, and she's like... Then she literally is like, also take your socks off. And he's like, all right.
Now
So-
move your foot closer to my mouth.
Yeah. Now take these photos. Post them on Reddit.
Yeah.
And
Wiki feet.
yeah. Sometimes I wish I had a foot fetish because I feel like it would be like an interesting thing about me that I could share. That would
Sure.
be funny.
Yeah.
Because like right off the bat, I just don't feel interesting.
Right. This adds like some nuance to your
Yeah.
profile as a person.
I just feel too vanilla.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
feel like even foot fetish seems like the vanilla of the real crazy stuff.
Yeah. But I
it's
think foot fetish is a pathway to. Well, look, we don't kink shame on this podcast.
We don't. But I feel like, it's something, it adds flavor to your
Oh,
personality.
yeah. You go from vanilla to rocky road, my friend.
Exactly. It's like putting a neat hat on your sex life.
Put a little feather in that cap.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I just have like a very generic hat.
Yeah. Hey, foot freaks. Good for you.
Get at us. Get at us. We'll post some foot pictures, our feet, on the podcast for you.
Congrats.
No, we won't. But, yeah, so they're getting chased, and then they're like, well, thank God we got out of that place where now
Yeah.
the hands can't get us. And, of course, the zombies just pop out and...
Yeah, yeah. So then they're like, oh, this field of soft mud looks good.
Yeah,
And
the
they,
Black Dahlia murder
yes.
boob ripper off her spot.
Yeah. And they dive in there, and it's a big sinkhole. So they start to
jeez.
sink into the mud. And right as they're about to be consumed and they're like sucking down mud, dirt, they feel strong hands lift them up. And it's a wolf boy and a wolf girl.
Yeah.
That
Who they
rescues
referenced
them.
earlier.
Yeah, they use their hands to lift them up out of the sinkhole, and then they want to kill them. They want to
Yeah.
save them to kill them.
Well, they don't want their food all covered in mud.
Right, fair.
And of course, we would say that Wolf Boy and Wolf Girl are referenced as characters throughout the whole book.
Yep.
We just decided to make funny names up instead.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. But so they're like, oh shit, we need to run away from them. So they
Yep.
run away. It's a long scene of them running, and then they climb up onto a wall, and they fall over the other side. And luckily the tram comes again. They find it. They hop in, and the Wolf Boy and Wolf Girl are not fast enough to get to them. But this tram is filled with skeletons.
It sure is. That's pretty spooky. One doesn't expect that, Dave. And it's also confusing because, like, how did the tram get here? Wasn't it stuck in the cave? Now it's, like, functioning again in a different spot suddenly. But whatever. They need to escape, so they get on. And the tram carries them to a big old castle, which they noticed in the background in Shock Street, but they didn't really pursue that. And it's headed right for the castle. And the weird thing is, the tram starts to go through the castle.
So they bail.
They just dive right off that baby. And turns out to be a ghost tram that disappears into the castle. Normal. And,
normal shit.
So they're like, all right, we really got to find Dad because we got to, like, confront him and see what's going on.
Oh, wait. Also, I forgot to say that they used the laser guns to shoot Wolf Boy.
That's right. And
they don't do anything. It's a waste in the book. There's no reason they should have been given to them.
I don't even understand it.
Yeah.
Because, obviously when they're given, you're like, oh, like this must, at a pivotal point, this must help them. But no, it does not.
In the TV show, they actually make them work once. But,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Not here. So they're trying to find Dad, and they basically go in a circle, and then they're back on Shock Street. And then for some reason that is not really explored, there's a bunch of, like, poofy, wispy clouds of, like, fart smoke that come up out of the cemetery, and they bubble
have faces.
up. And they have faces, yeah. And they start to encircle the kids. And they get freaked out, and then they hear a man yell, "Cut. That's a wrap. Print it." And it's a director. And they're in a movie.
They were filming the kids.
They're filming the kids this whole time, which is problematic.
Well, that is probably, even in the bathroom, is crazy. And that's why they had to take their shoes off. But, yeah, and this is the only twist, probably, for the whole book.
Yeah.
And they say, like, where's our dad? And, like, your dad's in the office. The easiest way to get there is going to Electra Guy's shock hut.
Yeah.
And
Dive
just walk
into his
right
toilet.
through.
Yeah.
And you're fine. And at this point, they're like, oh, cool, it's all fake. That's fine. And Electro Guy is, like, Marty's favorite. And they know that anyone who sets foot in this house in the series just gets blasted, gets shock blasted and killed.
That's right.
So, he's walking into the hut, and she's talking to the director, and she sees something off because there's a plug coming out of the back of the director.
Yeah, he's a robot as well.
And then she's like, Marty, no. Marty walks in, and all she hears is a boom and a bright, shocking light.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
She runs over to Marty, and he exploded.
That's right.
And then she sees her dad, and she's like, Dad, who are you? And he's like, I'm your dad. And she's like, no, you're not. Who are you?
Yeah.
And Dad is like, ah, fuck, and just turns her off.
Yep.
Because Marty and her name I forgot.
Veronica.
Erin, Wendy, Erin. The whole time, though, guys, for real, like, listen, like, for real this time, though. Like, crazy, like, for real.
Yeah.
You'll never
Legit?
guess what.
Here's
100%. Goddamn robots, these kids.
They're robots. The whole time they were robots.
Yeah. Electronic beings, not kids.
You might ask, why do that? Why go through all that trouble to build robots and send them through a park of other robots?
To film it, to make a movie.
Yeah.
So maybe the dead kid that was, like, ripped in half in the movie they saw was just robots too. So the whole thing, they were just filming a movie about Chalk Street.
Yeah. Why not use
The
real
only-
kids? Who knows?
Well, the weirdest part for me is, like, I get it. You have really good robot technology. You can use robots instead of actors. You can do whatever. Why send them to a movie premiere to watch a movie?
Yeah. Yeah. Seems like
And
a
just
waste.
let them on their own. Yeah. It's kind of weird. And the only thing actually that comes together now, maybe they gave the kids guns so that they could, like, in post add, like, bullets.
Right. Like CGI and real guns.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. But and that's the end.
That's
and
the
the
old
whole
book.
and then the assistants come over, and they're like, "What's going on?" They're like, "Yeah, something was wrong with these robots. They were asking about their mother." And he's like,
Right.
"Well, we never programmed them to have a mother." And she's like, "That's what was weird."
They're gaining sentience.
Yeah, insane.
Wow. True
And-
James Cameron masterpiece.
So they just turn them off because they're, like, freaking out in the TV show.
Yeah.
And then later in the studio, he's making basically clones of them. And he's
Yeah.
like, these will be even better. And the old ones come back to life.
Yeah.
And they're going to kill him. And they say, everything wants to live, even robots.
Yeah.
That's the final line, which I thought was cool.
That was a cool final line. The dialogue before that was fucking horrendous. But
that's
that
what
was a
I
good
expect.
line. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe that's just how they talk in Canada,
Yeah.
where everything is filmed.
Cool. Do you have some good stuff you want to talk about?
I do. So chapter 1, I think, is great. They don't say that they're watching a movie, and they keep it very ambiguous to the point where I was like, are they playing a video game? Are they in a movie? Like, I had no idea what it was. So it was good. They were very engrossed in the movie, and they show that by them, like, being like, they hear something on the right. They see this, and it was really well done. It's a great attention grabber, and it really makes me want to read more. So that was awesome.
Nice.
The Hollywood Hills setting is very nice. All the visuals of them driving, they give you kind of a nice little tour of the area so you know where they are and what's going on. I liked that. Incredible literary reference. When they're going into the House of Horrors, there's a Dante's Inferno reference.
Really?
Above the door, it says, abandon all hope, ye who enter.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So they got it's pretty cool to have a Dante reference. I loved when the creatures who are grotesque are doing like the photos and stuff, because they're very scary when they show up.
Yeah.
Then they're just kind of fun and enjoying it with the kids and stuff. But when they leave, it says the creatures went wheezing and snarling back into the bushes. I just love the wheezing, like they went wheeling.
Yeah.
Just
sort of non-traditional description.
and there's really good descriptions of these monsters, and it's very creative. All the different names, all the different things that really is where RLS shines.
Yeah.
He really likes creating these characters, and it's a lot of fun.
You could tell he
And
had fun doing it.
He sure did, and it's different enough from what we normally get too. And I think he did a good job planting a lot of the groundwork where it's like the mother thing was really interesting. It plays better in the TV show, but it was really good in the book too. And also to the point where it's like we look like brother and sister, but we're not. Mm-hmm. Where it's like he's done that so many times, but it actually means something now because they're not real. They were made by the same person. So it was cool. It was good. And, you know, it's not like I said in the text when I finished it, to let you know, it's kind of like Horrorland meets Attack of the Mutant in a way.
Yeah, I thought that was a good way to put it. It also reminded me a little bit of Ghost Next Door.
Yeah.
In that, like, okay, this protagonist was never living the whole time.
Yeah. I think I liked this better than Horrorland and Mutant. Too,
yeah, I liked it too, especially for a late series entry, which, you know, some of the earlier ones, I feel like, I don't know if you feel the same way. It's like a lot of those are real solid. Yeah. And as we get farther down the line, it's like, I don't know, some of them are a little more phoned in.
And more was being asked of him at that time. I imagine he was doing book signings everywhere, and his career by 1995 really set off. So more was being asked of him while he was still doing a book a month. So hats off to you, RLS.
Well done.
Also, I like the mantis a lot. I just wish they had the budget to put it in the TV show.
Yeah, same.
Which, fingers crossed for the next TV show. I feel like they could make a real kick-ass episode out of this now.
Yeah, I think the series could potentially be good.
That'd be great. Let's see. Who knows when it comes out? Maybe it'll come out fortuitously after our 60-second book.
Yeah, then we could do
that would be fun.
A pod about the series.
Yeah.
Cool. Is that all you're good?
That's all my good.
Sweet. I had some stuff too. Chapter 1 I also thought was really good. I thought it was good. Usually a lot of these books begin with like, my name is Erin Wright and I'm 10 years old and my dad doesn't look anything like me. This one said like it's from the perspective of Erin. It's first person, and she says Marty was getting scared. I like to see Marty scared. And then it says like, okay, I know, like, that's bad. Erin Wright is a bad person, but hear me out. And I was like, okay, so RL snuck in the protagonist's name this way. He didn't say like, well, allow me to introduce myself. He worked it into the narrative. Well done. Move on. I thought that was good. In the movie, this fake film that they're watching in the beginning that RL has created, I like that the way they defeated the monster was to eat him with butter. I thought that was very funny. It was like a half crab, half, what was the other half? Wolf. Or something. Page 27, there's a nice description, which I will quickly read. At the bottom of page 27, the tram took us nearer. Tall weeds choked the front lawn. The weeds bent and swayed in the wind. The gray shingles on the house were chipped and peeling. Pale green light, dim, eerie light, floated out from the tall window in front. I guess I just like tall weeds choked the front lawn. Like you were saying with the sort of non-traditional description, the wheezing, just a good word choice.
Yeah.
Page 56 is when they start to introduce the praying mantises, and it's creepy the way they do it because you're seeing things from the perspective of Erin, and Erin is looking at Marty, and she sees something creep up behind Marty. So it's just well done over there. Page 58. I read it in the intro. There are some fun mantis mouth noises, which I like a lot, and the sucking sounds are back, my friend, from Monster Blood. Page 80, there's some pretty good, as with the skeletons on the ghost tram, there's some good zombie description, which is I took one last glance at their tattered, shredded clothing, at their blackened eye sockets, their toothless, grinning mouths, and their moaning and all this kind of stuff. And then also, similarly, page 99, the other passengers on the tram all turned around at the same time, and I saw their grinning jaws, their dark, empty eye sockets, the gray bones of their skulls. Their jaws opened in dry laughter, cruel laughter that sounded like the wind screeching through bare trees. Bones rattled and clattered as they raised their yellowed, skeletal hands to point at us. Scary.
It's good.
So that's it. That's my good stuff. How about your bad?
Nice. On page 7, to hammer it in that they're twins, Marty bumps into somebody leaving the movie, and someone says, "Hey, you twins should be more careful."
Yeah, right.
And they're like, everyone always thinks we're twins.
Yeah.
Like, that's so weird to just, like, bump into it and be like, hey, it's not like, hey, you kids. It's like, you two twins.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so weird.
I always have to describe strangers that I encounter.
Yeah. Like, if I see people that look like, they're wearing similar garb and around the same height, they have similar tassels, I say, hey, you tag team, quit it.
That's right. Yeah.
So that was weird. In 25, he went back to something. We've gotten a couple books now. It says, you nearly dropped your teeth for being scared. I don't get that. Erin is very afraid of bats. And this paragraph is supposed to feel rambling, but it's a punctuated mess. It's so bad. And okay, let me just, bats, Marty whispered, period. What do you think, Erin? Think there are bats in here? He leaned close and let out an evil laugh in my ear. So that's okay. Then it gets crazy. Marty knows that I hate bats, exclamation point. I know, comma, I know, period. Bats aren't really evil creatures, period. And they aren't dangerous, period. Bats eat mosquitoes and other insects, period. And they don't attack people or get tangled in your hair or try to suck your blood, period. That's only in movies. I know all that, period. But I don't care, period. Bats are ugly and creepy and disgusting, period. And I hate them, period. Like, it's
too much.
One day I told Marty how much I hate bats, period. And he's been... It's like... It's so insane that, like, every sentence is broken in half by a period and it's all little thoughts, but then it starts with a capital "and."
Yeah.
Every single sentence. And it's just kind of like, I do this, and I do this, and I do this, and I do... It's like he didn't want to make a run-on sentence, so he just made a million fragments that don't work on their own.
It's like, make a compound, dude. Like, just... you can do it without doing a run-on sentence.
Like, this is not a sentence. And they don't attack people or get tangled in your hair or try to suck your blood. That's...
paints a whole picture.
How is it a run-on sentence and a fragment?
Yeah.
Like, at the same time.
I hate it.
It's a mess. Bad. And again, like... As a writer, you can do what you need to do, but he just wants to get kids to read, and this is what kids are emulating, and you're supposed to be, as a scholastic children's book, you want to be doing this stuff right to teach the kids. On page 48, this is a sentence on its own, another really bad sentence, and he knew that I knew that he had been frightened. And there's no commas, no anything.
Oh.
And he knew that I knew that he had been frightened. It sounds like people were just like, well, I was saying was, like that kind of thing. Yeah. It's just, on page 88 and 89, there is also a pretty rough, it's the worst action writing I think I've read in an RLS yet. His hands thrashed the air, period, caught the top of the brick wall, period, held on. His bare feet kicked the air, period, but he held on and tugged himself up. On his knees on top of the wall, he turned and grabbed my hands. He pulled, and I jumped. I struggled to scramble up beside him. But I couldn't get my knees up. Couldn't get them. Like, it's... My bare feet thrashed wildly. My knees scraped against the wall as Marty tugged. I can't do it. I can't. It's just... The beginning where it's just like, his hands thrashed in the air, caught the top, held on. Like, it's just like a list of things, but, like, I had to read it twice because I'm like, what's happening?
Right.
Like, it was just... They don't even say that they're going up the wall. It's like, he held on, he thrashed, he held on, he did this. And I'm like, what are they holding on to? Like, what are they doing? It was just really messy. And also the laser guns were worthless.
Yeah. Yeah,
they were described way too much. Dad's mistress did like a whole joke at the beginning of them like getting shot and her freezing. It's like, nah, just kidding. But like it wasn't even a big scare. It wasn't even like a next sentence thing. It was just a waste.
Yeah, yeah, and so is she. I don't understand that whole section.
I like it if he's trying to set up a mistress thing with the mom.
Sure,
because they seem buddy.
Yeah.
All right, what was your bad?
Just a few things, and a few of them are predictable. So not to belabor these things, but the Stine trope of Erin looking unlike her dad. It's been happening every book, and I'm just kind of tired of it.
But I like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's
because it's alluding to them being robots.
In this case, it is.
First time it's useful.
Yeah.
But yes, it's just, I doubt he was doing this every book to set up for this one, to really get us.
Yeah, exactly. So. Usually it's meaningless.
Yeah.
The end of the third chapter, when Erin goes to see her dad, he says, I have very bad news, Erin. Very bad news. And that's how the chapter ends. And then the next chapter begins, and he goes, just kidding. I have good news. And it's like, this is before you know, obviously, that she's a robot, and before you know anything about the mother. So I'm like, at this moment, that's fucked up, because it's like, I'm a child, and my dad is telling me there's very bad news. And he like takes his glasses off and like pinches the bridge of his nose and stuff. So it's like, Jesus, is mom dead? Like, what?
Yeah.
And he's like, just kidding. So that was weird. Page 29, I hate RL so consistently in the series. It says thrills and chills, and I do not like it. I don't think it ever had a place in language for children, and it doesn't now.
Maybe on the cover or back of a book.
Sure.
Which is like, more thrills and chills in the next Goosebump
exactly,
book.
But nobody says it.
It's an advertising line.
But he says it. There's always one kid who says it sarcastically, and it's just like, I hate it. Page 41, we had no idea, ... sort of a thing, like how scary it would get. Page 42, there's just a bad simile. It says, the tram zigzagged its way through the trees. Their shadows rolled over us like dark ghosts.
I remember. Okay. I was too lazy to write that one down, but also
I was like, what does that mean?
Yeah. Why you gotta be ghost racist?
Yeah, relax, RL. He's not even that old at this point. Page 95, Erin is talking about Marty, and I guess this is when like the floating things are appearing, and she goes, "Did he see it too?" He did. So just two side by side. One's a question. It's like asked and answered. So yeah, but overall, not bad. Not a bad entry.
Nice.
So we want to do our spook, our best, our alt, and our witch.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Where's the witch? So I think we have the same scare. It's going to be being on a ride that pulls you through spider webs that are alive and crawl up your nose.
Yeah, it's fucked up. I hate it. Yeah, I don't like any of the bug stuff, except the mantis.
Why not just put bed bugs in the tram so you bring those home too?
Yeah. Like fleas with plague.
Yeah, then they put hats on us that had lice.
Yeah. Then they gave us herpes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
That's actually a Bailey School Kids book. It's robots can't get herpes.
I think this book proves they can, Dave. What's your best dressed?
I said pick anybody on page 39.
Okay.
Page 39 is when we get the monsters that pop out.
Oh, sure. Yeah. They got wart hands and whatnot.
Yeah. Like, the guy covered in purple slime was the toxic wild man, and I recognized Sweet Sue, the walking, talking baby doll with real hair you can brush. Sweet Sue was really a mutant, murderer from Mars.
Yeah.
The frog face guy covered from head to toe with purple and brown warts was the Fabulous Frog, also known as the Toadinator. He starred in Pond Scum and Pond Scum 2, two of the scariest movies ever made. I'm going to have to go with my man, Toadinator.
The Toadinator.
He's got so many warts.
Yeah. See? Toadinator has herpes.
He has genital warts. I think that's different.
That's true. Yeah, it's hard.
Is it
It's hard
different?
for him. I'm sure they could materialize from different ailments.
They're probably, yeah. You got bumps on your pee-pee. You're in trouble no matter what.
That's right. I would see a doctor. I got page 108. It just really stood out to me. I don't think this is good, but it was so jarring. It says, a man came striding up to Marty and me. He wore jeans and a gray sweatshirt under a brown leather jacket. He had a blue and white Dodgers cap sideways on his head. Here's the cherry on top. A blonde ponytail tumbled out from under it. Now, this is the director, who's a robot.
Yeah.
And this means Mr. Wright created this thing and decided, you know what? He's going to have a funky way of wearing his hat. He's a baseball fan. He likes the Fonz, and he has a ponytail.
He sounds like somebody that would get his ass kicked in like a what's his name movie? Fuck.
Grease?
Like a Van Damme movie.
Oh, sure. Like Bloodsport?
Yeah. He definitely would be like the top of the bad guys. He'd be like, "Ooh, the blonde ponytail really sold it."
Yeah.
He had secret nunchucks, you can tell.
Yeah. He's like a Rocky villain.
All right, do you have an alternate title?
You know, I thought of one last night and I totally forgot. So, Mangle Dangle.
Okay. Mine is A Steamer on Cleveland Street.
Yeah, mine's Eiffel Tower Power.
Yeah, I like it. And where's the witch?
Oh, where is the witch? Well, I think Linda, our mysterious mistress, is the witch. Because she appears and disappears like a phantom.
Yeah.
And gives them strange guns for no reason.
Yeah, I think Linda's the witch. Also, Dad is so entranced by her. And Dad can't be the witch because he does science.
That's right. He believes in science.
Witches are the opposite of science. And she hands science that doesn't even work and just appears and disappears. So she's the most anti-science person there.
That's right.
Which means she's got to be the witch.
Yeah.
She's also, other than Dad, the only, as we think, non-robot.
I guess, yeah.
Because I think at the end she's talking with Dad about different things. And also he mentions to her that they know about Mom.
Yeah, right. And Mom doesn't exist.
Or maybe Mom is the witch. Maybe a witch is taking over the robots.
Perhaps, yeah. Maybe Linda is the spouse the whole time.
Who knows? I'm going to say that Mom's the witch.
Okay. I respect that.
There's the witch.
There it is, Carl.
All right. Okay. Thanks, Carl. Again, Where's the Witch? Added by Carl Germ of the Every FNF podcast.
That's right.
Other people seem to write in as well.
Sometimes.
So we haven't done this in a bit, and keep letting your reviews roll in. When we get reviews, we do Goosebumps deaths, where we decide how you would die in a Goosebumps novel.
Yes, we do,
Matt just
Dave.
did a good stretch.
I did a good stretch, and now I'm posing.
No, he's flexing. You're a strong man.
Thank you.
So this one comes from Jesse _A-0. I'm dumb. So it's Jesse. Oh. So a friend recommended this podcast to me, and I went in unsure of what to expect.
Sure.
These guys are hilarious.
Wow.
I love the dynamic. Thank you, Jesse. Oh.
Jesse.
They're also insightful in the way that analytical and literary types are. Too much credit. Thank you. I can't say that I recall much of the Goosebumps series, except fleeting nostalgic feelings, but I look forward to the rest of the series.
Wow.
5 out of 5 and a Purple Heart.
That's beautiful.
Jesse Ayo, thank you. That means so much.
Yeah. What a sweetheart. What a cutie pie.
Yeah.
Let's murder you.
Let's murder you. So Jesse, I don't know if you're a boy or a girl or whatever you identify as. Because Jesse, it can be anything.
Sure.
It can go either way. I don't even want to assume.
Nope.
But let me tell you one thing. You're a queen.
Hell yeah.
Everybody knows that you are royalty, you are queen, and you wanted everybody to know that. And this is where the witch comes in.
Oh my God.
A witch comes in, we all know that we call you queen because you listen to Queen so much.
Mm-hmm.
And you get one wish for finding the secret witch, and you say that I'm Jesse Ao. I don't want to be Ao anymore because everyone goes Ao. That I hate. I want to be the queen. So when people talk about queen, I want them to think of me. And you're like, okay, you could be the queen, but I have to keep the Ao. And he's like, no, Ao is bad. I don't want the Ao. It's done. It's like, fine, Ao's bad, and you're a queen. So magic happens, you go to bed. Then, all of a sudden, you go to the TV and you see a trailer for the movie that's coming out with the guy from Mr. Robot, where they give him horrible teeth, and he has to play a famous other queen.
That's right.
The singer of Queen.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh, fuck, everyone's going to like not think of me as queen anymore because they're going to think of the band as queen. But for some reason, the magic of the witch works for everybody. So you go and everyone's like, what's that movie about that band? From that band I've never heard of? And they're like, yeah, but they're really excited because Mr. Robot's good, and they love that they jammed all those teeth into his dumb mouth. Have you seen that movie?
No, I
refuse.
refuse.
His dialogue is so spitty.
Ugh.
It sucks.
Yeah, I'm going to pass on that movie.
The only thing that's good is that Michael Myers plays the guy who makes fun of Bohemian Rhapsody because, of course, Wayne's World.
Right.
The whole joke.
Sure.
So you're watching it, and you go to the movie theater because you're just so cocky. You're so cocky because you're like, this band isn't Queen. I'm Queen. That's my name now. Everyone knows me as Queen.
Fair.
And then it gets to the scene where he's playing Live Aid. And it's the point where he goes up to the microphone and he goes, "Hey-oh." And everybody does it back. And every time you hear it, you just feel the energy being sucked out of you. Because Ao is not you. And it's bad. And the witch took that to heart. And every time somebody yells Ao, it kills you. So throughout the movie, every time Mr. Robot goes, "Hey, yo, 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 yo,"
Mr. Robot.
And the thousands of people in the fake audience goes Ao back, you slowly die. And you shrivel up, and the only thing that's left is one of your teeth. Guess which one? The crown that the dentist left.
Wow.
Because you were the queen.
That was beautiful, Dave.
Ao!
R.I.P. Jesse.
Jesse Ao. Remember, no matter your gender or anything, you're the queen to me. You're always a queen to me.
That's beautiful. I love that story of empowerment. And we still have your crown, which is, very nice.
I wear it in my mouth.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to cut it in half, and we'll both wear it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, let's revive you. You're.
What was that?
You've respawned.
Can you can you save that and edit between these all the time?
Sure.
Can you just play that noise or make that noise?
It's canon now. I'm gonna chop it and I'm gonna insert it in all future episodes. Where we do this segment now, Dave, you mentioned movies, and I think Jesse is a big movie fan. And what better episode than Shock Street, where they make movies all the time?
They do. They do that.
And Jesse, I think you have one such visit to a movie set, and everybody knows you're a big fan of the film series Jackass, of course. Who isn't a fan of Wee Man and Scott Stapp and Little Nipper and Steve-O and
Bam Margarine
and his dad Ted
and Stevie-O.
Stevia is there, of course. And everyone loves Johnny Fuxin. And so you're there on set, and you're like, wow, they're doing all kinds of antics, and they're like jamming fireplace utensils up each other's assholes and whatnot. And you're like, wow, this is so cool. And they're like, hey, do you want to be in a sketch? It's not gonna, you're not gonna be harmed in any way. Don't worry, no big deal. And you're like, sure. And then Shockro appears. And you're like, whoa, Shockro. I listened to the Calling Creeps episode with Shocker and Shock Street. I know Shockro is part of Shock Street, and I know he had a porta potty and a toilet, a toilet there.
We didn't say his name the entire episode until the very end. Was his name Shocro? Is the shock guy?
Yeah, well, there is a Shockrow in the book.
Oh, okay.
So you're like, whoa, Shockrow's toilet. And you what they do is they lock you in there, and they put you in a big slingshot. And you're like, all right, like I don't like the look of this. You don't know about the slingshot yet when you get in there, and they tape the door shut. And I'm just gonna tell you right now, it smells like shit in there.
Ew.
And so you're like, all right, let me out. I don't like it in here. And you hear like cranes moving and stuff outside, and stuff being strapped to you. And they say, hold on, and they're giggling and stuff. And Wee Man and Dr. Piss Pants, or whatever his fucking name is, are like, patting each other on the back. And then you feel yourself getting pulled forward, and then released. And suddenly you're hurtling through the air. Shit lifts out of the toilet and falls onto your head. And that blue stuff that's in there. And the hand sanitizer busts open and splatters on your face. And you're grateful for it, frankly, at this point. And here's the thing. You don't stop. You keep going up and up and up into space. And now you're a space toilet. And you freeze instantly. You just die. There's no oxygen. Temperature's cold, probably. I saw Avengers Infinity War, and that bad guy froze in space. So, sorry about that. But hey, thanks for your review. It's great to see you.
We got some more reviews coming up, so we're going to be killing you. Next book, we will, because we're quarantined, we get a little lonely, but we're gonna have some guests.
That's right.
So next book, what is that?
Haunted Mask 2.
Haunted Mask 2. So who knows? We'll be showing up or re-showing up for that.
That's right.
And then followed by probably the most requested guest,
most anticipated guest of all time.
Most anticipated guest. It's I don't want to say too much.
Nope.
It's just
I don't want to make a production out of it, Dave.
Yeah, because we're a big podcast. We're always working, and somebody's got to be making the biscuits, right?
That's right. Somebody's baking the bread.
So yeah. All right. So that was a lot of fun. I laughed so hard at that ending that I'm sweating now. So I'm gonna have to change my shirt.
Thank you, Johnny Fuxton.
Good old toilet humor. Who knew? Who knew that's so funny? Who knew that toilets would be a funny joke?
Always good for a giggle.
It's always good. All right, and now we're going to sign off. Matt, say the thing we always say, every episode always, that we've always done this.
Bye.
Yeah,
Classic.
Classic, Matt.
Aloha, which is hello and goodbye.
Is it? Mm-hmm. We're all going to get laid. That was a bad one. That was a bad. It's hard to do his impression.
Hey,
we're all gonna get laid.
Is it Mark or Tom that says that?
That's Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh.
See how bad it is?
I assumed it was a member of Blink-182.
No respect.
That was good.
Hey, yeah, that was good. That was a good one. My wife, she sucks. I wish.
She made lemon chicken last week. I nearly chopped my own dick off.
You call those nipples?
Can you milk me, Greg? Okay.
All right.
All right.
And with that, we end another installment of this shit. Goodbye.
Goodbye.